welcome to the Seed Your Success podcast. Philip, welcome back to the podcast. So happy to have you here with us.
Thanks so much for having me on. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
I want to just jump into the updates. I want to talk about just a brief overview of Leela Technology, which is separate than the quantum upgrade, so we don't confuse people. But I wanted it to go through the physical products that Leela has, and then we'll go into the quantum upgrade and give them a peek into the future of some of the updates you've had with your test results and where the community can look for in the next coming months. So, everybody, Leela has really changed so many lives. And once we get into the studies, you'll see why. I'm just going to add my own disclaimer. We're going to be talking about the advancements of quantum technology. And when you see the validated research that has come back, as someone that is an intuitive and someone that has been doing energy healing for many years, I'm going to share that we're going to talk about the subscription, the remote service. It's highly affected in its pure quantum energy, how it will amplify not only your own biology, but also the notion that really what we're here is we're setting up the environment for your health, your body, and your spiritual life to be able to be optimized. But we're also here not to diagnose. One piece that I wanted to say is in many spiritual communities, when we talk about these frequency levels and we talk 3D, 4D, 5D, we have to understand that we're also putting in our work, that this is not spiritual bypassing, but it is the community taking personal responsibility to understand that when you raise your levels to the levels that we're going to be talking about, the diet, the personal meditations, all of that are all a part of this frequency that we're signing up to. And to me, as a personal oath to our own consciousness that we're on board with what we're here to talk about. So I just wanted to say that. So, Philip, if you can just give us a little bit of feedback about the three products I would say are your top sellers, and then the update on the Infinity Block and then the cards. Over to you, my friend.
Absolutely. And the water bottle is not on here. It probably would have made either the fourth or the third spot, but it doesn't really matter. We can just allude to it. And indeed, the Heal capsule, that is the number one product because it's the all-rounder product, the entry-level product where you can start to feel what frequency and quantum energy can actually do for you. It certainly can't do what a block does, but it's very powerful for the one that wears it in various ways. The capsule itself is made out of brass. It's charged with some self-healing, power activating frequencies that are etheric frequencies, but then also with the molecular frequencies of almost 80 of the most important vitamins, minerals, and organic plant extracts for the human body. So if you wear this, you have a lot of different aspects that are covered. You're basically having a field around you that harmonizes EMF, so you wouldn't be able to measure the negative effects of EMF on your body. You have positive impact on your heart rate variability, as shown in studies. And then you have access to these frequencies. And at minimum, what that does is that it amplifies any of those vitamins and minerals that you may be taking in through your general nutrition, diet, etc. For some people, it's actually enough. They just need these frequencies. So it's easy to wear, and you could also put it in your pocket. Please just don't wear it at night. If you want to wear it at night, take purple beads because it would just be a little bit too stimulating, most likely for most people, at least at night, unless you're a very deep sleeper. And then maybe on the right hand side, you need to see how a frequency card looks like. It's basically like a business card size, but it is not paper or anything. It actually looks like a golden card. We have, I think, way over 25 of those with all different frequencies. So we have one for abundance, one for inner peace, one for prosperity, one for There's lots of different use cases. Yeah, you have them here. Gratitude frequency, which is amazing. I can't even highlight more because then I would have to mention all of them because they're all for what they do pretty cool. And a lot of those actually were developed based on community feedback and requests where they said, we want one for this, we want one for weight management, for example. I would have not thought about releasing one of those, but that was requested.
Real quick on that, to your point, you and I had a conversation 2 years ago about a card for the ADHD community, in which you were already working with a community in India, a doctor in India, with autistic children. And so a lot of these cards can have crossover effect where I actually have the ADHD card in my phone because my phone is always near me. So I also have one by my computer. So I place these cards in the different vicinities for the rest, the calm and rest. I have that one that is underneath my pillow and the inner peace. And so these are really great to facilitate for people that you love. They're never going to be brute force. That's something I think is also I wanted to mention is that any kind of cards that are going to have a specific frequency tonality to them, if you're going to go to a YouTube channel, for instance, I share with clients, and you go to a certain hertz, 437, but a lot of that is brute force. And so you're pushing the frequency into the body, and the body may not really need that. So these types of products and anything that we're talking about today is going to harmonize the frequencies. It's not going to over potentiate the fields. The ADHD and the autistic is a large community. That's
The ADHD would be part of
focus.
the focus. The autistic, they could use it, of course. So we basically combined within the focus one for many actually. And then if you have parents that may have dementia and things like that, or if you're a person that can't focus and concentrate, that's not. You can use this one as well. So it works for a lot of people. It's quite nice. Wear it for 24 hours the first day, and then after that as needed throughout the day.
Great. Awesome. And then we've got the block in the middle, which is
Mm.
my favorite. So powerful.
Yes, and I'm so excited now because it really the Infinity Block used to be our flagship product, and especially the Infinity Block package, which is having physically two, not just because then you have to, which is great. But you can then also do upgrades and literally upgrade the concentration of the field. Now, through all of our because we don't as a company, we don't stand still as far as changing the products, making the products better on a constant basis. So it so happened that then in the meantime, we developed new features that we added to the grand block, to the travel block, which is a large block and a small block, but we never added it to the infinity block. And then we were wondering, okay, what are all those people going to do that had these infinity blocks, especially the ones that wanted to upgrade those? They didn't have these features, and we did not want them to purchase another set of infinity blocks or a new infinity blocks because just they feel like, okay, they're it's now outdated. So we came up with this IB booster capsule to actually boost these old in infinity blocks, older infinity blocks, and upload the latest features. And at the same time, now all the infinity blocks that you can purchase are the new ones, and they have an incredible level. So where we almost need to tell people just really take it easy in the beginning, drink a whole lot of water in the first week or two, and yeah, enjoy at the same time. We have not brought a product to market yet that is so powerful. So this is next level. It's I think at 3,000, if I'm not mistaken now. I think it's like 3,800 on the Hawkins scale.
So everybody, this guy here goes inside this cube. Okay. So you can see here, there's so many different ways that you can use these. So mine is sitting on the right. You can see this. This is in my kitchen. My food goes into it. If I'm using ice cubes, I put my ice cubes into it so I can harmonize my water. You can use it with intentions. So you can place a written intention on it. You can place a photo in it and put that energy in, send that energy to the person in that photo. So objects, raise, you can extend those vibrations. You can put a piece of hair in there. You can transfer energies. So this is what on the screen right here. So if you have a piece of metal and you have a supplement, you can take that supplement, put it inside the block and put that metal piece there next to it. And then you can put clean energy, like a card that doesn't have any frequencies on it, and transfer that and carry it with you if you have a favorite supplement that you have. Or let's say it's a medication where you can get the medication, but you don't get the harmful effects. Now, on the right, this is something that what I'm going to be doing is with my YouTube channel and doing my tarot oracle card readings. Anybody that tunes in to the reading outside of time and space, no matter when, that week I will be putting the cards in the block. So that will be radiating with the intention of the reading for the highest good of that community that is part of that reading. So you're really seeing the universality of these blocks. Not only does it just wipe out the EMF and harmonize your home and the environment, but you can then also potentiate anything that you put in it, including nutrition, food, water, etc. So that's great. So you can see here, I just shared about the intention. I want to talk a little bit about quantum entanglement, Philip, and how this works in brief. But I explain it like it'll set your intention. And it will set your intention just the power of eight, Lynn McTaggart. As long as their intention and you potentiate the field, it will do the process of the healing. And the resonance we measure by what we know is the Hawkins scale. And like I have already mentioned, it is creating the environment. So let's talk a little bit about quantum entanglement in your lens and your words. And then we'll hop into the studies and then we'll move into the awesome quantum upgrade.
Sounds great.
I think both of us and probably our audience already knows is quantum entanglement is outside space and time. You can reach anybody anywhere. It's how remote viewing works. It's around power of eight works.
Yep. And just real quick in regards to quantum entanglements, unfortunately, the quantum physics and quantum mechanics folks, they're talking a lot about quantum entanglement, which is on one hand, that's amazing because this whole topic gets into the awareness and consciousness of everybody through that. Because for in 2022, I think the Nobel Prize for Physics was awarded for work on quantum entanglement. However, tracing that all back, quantum mechanics and in essence really quantum physics nowadays, they're always talking about the smallest particle and they're talking about entangling particles because they don't understand that consciousness is basically the basis of everything. Any matter always comes out of consciousness. It's never the other way around. And so with that, we have a very similar understanding now. With our technology, you can really apply quantum entanglement, and it's not just about particles, it's really about energies. You can entangle energies. And I think that is quite important to know. And now moving into these studies here, so there were three ATP production studies done by a professor at the University of Tulsa, who's an expert in this field. He didn't think this could work because this was actually done also over distance, and he just couldn't think it could work. But then it worked, and it was a randomized double blind studies with a massive sample size. So we're talking millions of cells, so quite statistically significant. And then he did it a second time just to also because there was a part in him that was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing, but I need to do it again. Does this happen again?" And it happened again. So he did it a third time just to cover his butt before he publishes the study. And yeah, it was shown to have a 20 to 29% boost in ATP production, which ATP production is the currency of the human body. Without that, you're dead. And you need it especially for any mental exercise, for any physical exercise, etc. And 20 to 29% is absolutely massive. It is something where Dave Asprey, who wrote a book about ATP production, said that you cannot achieve that with any other method, as far as he knows. You can maybe get it to 25% if you do these 11 different things. And he mentioned then all these 11 different things that you do all at the same time. They're all invasive, though. Some are not bad. It's just supplementation. But,
That or
you
a
know,
thousand
maybe
dollars in supplements, and you'd be chasing that stuff till the day you
yeah,
die.
at very minimum, and then some shots here and there possibly.
Yeah.
So this is completely non-invasive, right? So we need to understand that. It has 0 side effects. It is completely non-invasive. So it harmonizes EMF. It neutralizes the biologically significant stress on various levels in regards to EMF, but also in regards to foods. There was a water structuring study by the Emoto Institute. So that's the Emoto Institute, the famous Masaru Emoto, who died a few years ago, that showed that our technology is able to structure and optimize water faster and better than any other method they'd ever tested before, which again is quite significant. And but not only that, so 20 months ago when that happened, they then decided they wanted to resell our products exclusively in Japan and asked us if that would be possible. And they'd never done that with any other product line before. One other study that actually two, but one that isn't published yet, that is the wound healing study with the actual human cells. And it showed actually an 85 to 100% acceleration in wound healing of human cells. There were two of those experiments done, not just one, and that is quite significant. So I hope that we get the report by the end of March so that we can also publish it. But that's obviously very significant. And last but not least, I want to share like a side report that we just got back from the Base Institute in Austria. We still need to go through everything, and
Listen up,
but
my
we
friends. This is good juice. All right.
yep, this is for sure. We need to be mindful in how we phrase all this. That was a study that has been going on for, I think, 5 months now with quantum upgrade, actually. And it had 13 people in a control group and 13 people in the treated group. And you had vaccinated as well as non-vaccinated people in each of the groups. And they were just looking at the blood in general, but then they called me up after a few months and said, "So look, in all of the people in the control group, whether vaccinated or not, we can find traces of the spike protein." And so the Base Institute is extremely thorough, like extremely thorough, but everywhere they were able to see these traces of the spike protein. And they didn't put a focus on that, right? They just found that through this study. And they found that no in no one of the treated group people, they could find traces of the spike protein. What a finding, right? So they told us, okay, before the whole study report is written up, they'll out a report just about the spike protein. And I just literally received it, I think, last week, but I haven't even been able to read it yet. But of course, I know the results, which I just shared.
That's amazing. So we've got 10 minutes left, my friend. So the recent piece here, and I'm going to be giving everybody this document and giving my suggestions on how to sign up and whatnot. But we've got quantum upgrade. So this is a visual of the Hawkins. Okay. So real quick, look at where most of people live in shame, guilt, grief, and fear. So this is what I'm saying is that as you start using the products, understand that he had made a quote about 2000, 3000 level, and Hawkins tops off at 1000. So we are now seeing that we are now able to supersede these levels. And so the quantum upgrade is it's a different kind of service. So I'm going to have you go ahead and talk about the quantum upgrade. I'm going to go through some photos, but just to give people a visual. This is my biofeedback program, but this is what we're looking at, and you can see these numbers. So it gives you a visual of okay, where is your body at number wise, frequency? This is real data. And this is a before and after photo when you're using frequency tools. So I'll let you go ahead and jump into the quantum upgrade in the last 10 minutes. And then I'll do a separate afterwards and just do a visual of how to sign up. Over to you, my friend.
Yeah, so the quantum upgrade is indeed an advanced system that we developed over a few years that leverages the Lila Quantum technology, but it's way advanced, and we were able to, in this process, to also connect it to a digital front end, meaning that for that, you don't need a physical device, okay? You can basically, say, okay, I want to be in the field. I want to receive this quantum energy and also different frequencies because you can book in different frequencies at your convenience, and you can change the level of power throughout the day and throughout the night, and you can constantly make changes if you want at any time, which is very simple to do, and the system reacts within up to 5 minutes, okay, never longer. That is, so it's almost near real time, and it's fascinating because it literally works, and we have done so many studies in regards to that. I mentioned the ATP studies. The wound healing study was also done with the quantum upgrade system. Multiple live blood analyses studies that were randomized and double blind were done, as well as others, and we continue to do a lot of research. But this is really fascinating. This is next level. You can have that for yourself. You can have it for your pet. You can have it, of course, for any family member. But you can also have it for your business, which is a very interesting part. We have a lot of business owners actually that are using this, and they feel it because as a business owner, it's like a pet owner. If you have a dog, you feel, and if you pay attention at least, then there may be people that have dogs and they just don't care. But if you're a good person, good heart, and you pay attention, you feel when your dog doesn't feel good, and you feel when the dog is feeling good, and all of that, right? The same applies if you run a business, you're very connected to with what's going on, and you, even though I would argue that most entrepreneurs and business owners, they may not be very spiritual people or working with energetics, but they usually still have this additional sense, right? Something there where they can pick up things, what's going on in their business, in their company that is beyond just what they can see with their own eyes. And so people can feel that. And then certainly you can also notice it by actual things that physically happen. It's quite fascinating. I don't even know if we'll ever have a study in that regard. We probably will need to actually interview the business owners and get some data from that. And that's probably what we're going to have to do because it's really hard to run a research project in that regard. It's way easier with pets and with humans, obviously, and because you can literally measure, okay, yeah, energy's there, blood improved, heart rate variability improved, all of that is very easy.
Yeah,
And
Philip,
last but not least, yeah, just to wrap up, it's you
yeah,
can
you
also
go
have
to
it for
that.
your phone and for your car, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, which is huge. Some people would maybe look at like scalar technology. I will say real quick, I have an organic salon and spa, and I have the hypno business and frequency business. And this is a really important piece for me, right? Because for a lot of us in these communities, we're in the business of creating immersive healing experiences. So if you just think about, there's just something different when your client comes in potentiating the field. I got friends right now going through things with their pets, just having that understanding that you have this backed up no matter what, you're gold, right? So you can see on the document here that you will be able to set what I suggest is subscriptions, do the three bundle. You can choose from these choices. Now, from there, you can set the frequencies during the time that you want them. So you're going to go in and set your time zone. And then I will say I struggle with sleep. Within the second week, I don't ever get over the blue line with my aura ring. I now am getting REM sleep. And that's when I started using the quantum upgrade. So
Awesome.
there is verifiable data that you cannot deny. So I just wanted for people to see that you can personalize. It's amazing.
Yes, absolutely. And for especially for the night, if you're using it for yourself, and you have a free trial, by the way,
Yep.
like you can
7 day
have a
free
7-day
trial.
free trial to test it for yourself. There you have only the basic functionality. You have access to boosters, so you can amp up the level. But what you don't have in the trial is the access to the frequencies. So I'm not sure if we will make that available maybe for the future in trials, but it may be also too much for people in the beginning.
Yeah, it
But
might be a little.
that is really next level that you can book an inner peace, for example, for the night, which is my absolute favorite. That's also the one that we used in another study. That was an HRV study done by BioStrap and the company BioStrap. It was just a pilot study, but we said, okay, we use the inner peace frequency for the night together with 500 on the Hawkins scale. And then, of course, during the day, you can go a whole lot higher and you can use
Right.
whatever other frequency you want.
Yeah, I love that. And you can see here from the visual, there will be an additional drop down and you can choose the frequency that you want on those times. But Philip, I have a link here for everybody. I'm sharing the link for people to join Telegram so you can join the community. You've been a friend for a while and you're just doing incredible work. And I support you 100%. And I can't wait to share this updated podcast with all of our community. And I'll do a separate video. I'm so appreciative of you. Anything else that you wanted to share with us?
But just thanks so much for having me on and showing on all this effort here to make the presentation, everything. This is amazing. I think what you're doing is fantastic.